You are once more welcome to this lectures room once again. I have a question here on calculus that is on differentiation. The question says find the y/dx using first principle from y equal to 1 over 2 x squared plus 1. Please, you are asked to make use of first principle. Don't do otherwise. Follow the steps accordingly. Look at the way I'm going to do this one now. You can use it to solve any other question. It's very simple. Now, I want to have the solution here now. So, I say y equal to 1 over 2 x squared plus 1. I write the question. Now, this 1 over 2 x squared means that the half is multiplied by x squared. So, I can now look at it that, okay, what is going to be the next step to take is that I look at the increment in the y-axis compared to that of the increment in the x-axis. I'm going to apply the two right now. That is, I will say y plus the y, that is, y plus change in y will be equal to 1 over 2 into bracket x plus change in x, the x, squared, look at the square that is on it, plus 1. Now we are having y plus the y will be equal to, we have to open up this bracket. You know, this bracket means x plus 1, x plus 1. That is the bracket. So when you try to expand this bracket, you are going to get 1 over 2 into bracket x squared plus 2x dx plus the x squared plus 1. That is what you get when you try to solve this bracket like this. Now, I'm going to now have y plus the y will be equal to half times x squared. That will be x squared over 2. Or, let me say half x squared. I have it to be half x squared plus 2x dx multiplied by 1 over 2. That will be what? X dx. Because when you say 2x dx, that is 2x dx over 2. You know, these two we call each other over 1 over 2. Then no, multiply by 1 over 2. That will be the remaining x dx plus the x squared now over 2. You know, the x squared divided multiplied by 1 over 2 is the x squared times 1 over 2 plus 1. That is the value we have so far right now. At this stage now, after we have been able to open up the bracket, the next thing you will do is for you to transform or transfer this y into this particular right hand side now. So we are going to have the y will be equal to half x squared plus x dx plus the x squared over 2 plus 1 minus y. You know, this y that I have here now is not suitable for this right hand side because all the values we must have on the right hand side must be x. So what does y mean? We have been given the value of y initially. So you are going to bring it here now. So we are going to have the y will be equal to half x squared plus x dx plus the x squared over 2 plus 1 minus, you open up the bracket for it because the terms is more than 1. Half x squared plus 1. Close up the bracket. Why do I open up the bracket for it? Because this negative value, if you do not open up the bracket for it, it will only affect this first term, which is half x squared. It will not have effect on this, which is going to make all what you have been done so far to be wrong. So, in order to correct that, please make sure you create a bracket for it. Thank you. Let's go ahead. You are going to have the y to be equal to now half x squared plus x dx plus the x squared over 2 plus 1 minus times half x squared, that was minus half x squared minus 1 as well. So the next thing you do here is to collect the like terms. You can see that some terms looks alike there. So collect the like terms now. Collect like terms. So we're going to have the y now will be equal to half x squared. You have this one again here, minus half s squared. So let's underline those ones that we have removed. So we have removed these two now. Then plus x dx. Does anything look like x dx again? No. That's okay there. Plus the x squared over 2. Does anything look like that? No. Plus 1 minus 1. So that is the step that we are able to reach right now. So let's now look at those terms that look like if you can deduct some of them, and let's look at what is going to happen next now. Now, at this stage now, it is obvious that half x squared minus half x squared will cancel each other out. It make it to become 0. Plus 1 minus 1 will also cancel each other out. So we are going to have the y will be equal to x dx plus the x squared over 2. Now, we have been able to arrive at this stage, and what do we do next? The next thing we do now is to find the value of ratio of the y compared to that of the x. In other words, we say divide both sides or divide through by the x. Now say divide through by the x. We're going to have the y the x now. Now the y the x now comes in is equal to x dx over the x plus the x squared over 2dx. Each of those terms, there's 2 initially here. So multiply that, the x that we just bring in. We have to divide it because this particular part here is separated by a positive sign. Once you see some terms separated by a positive sign, each of those terms will have the effect of anything that you want to apply on them separately. If it's separated by a positive sign or even a negative sign, that is what is going to happen to them. But if it's what is in multiplication form, all of them we have the term together. So we continue like this. So the y dx now will be equal to, this dx, call this dx, and one of these dx here goes with this. So we are having x plus dx over 2. That is, I can transform this dx over 2 into bracket into half multiplied by dx. You understand? If I have this like this one is same thing as over 1. The x times 1 is the x. 1 times 2 is 2. So it's the same thing as the x over 2. Don't forget that we have removed one of these, the x here. So this square is no longer going to be there. So we are having the x over 2 here. So this point means here, it means multiplication in mathematics. So now divide the x as the x tends to 0 will now be equal to, so wherever you see the x now, you put 0 there. X plus half multiplied by 0. So, in conclusion now, the y dx will be equal to x. The y dx is equal to x. That is the value we are going to get for this particular question here. Please follow the steps accordingly. If you practice 2 or 3 questions, you'll be able to discover that you'll be the master of solving this question. So thank you. Please do subscribe. Don't forget. Thank you and God bless.